Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you some customized workflow processes in Cherwell that we've developed here, just to show you kind of stuff that can be done. And in today's day and age, we really have a lot around automation. We really big push to making everything automated, especially with recent events, with the pandemic and everything. And this really takes that to a whole new level. My name is Scheel. I'm with Flycast Partners, and what I'm about to show you really I'm going to show you the onboarding and offboarding processes, but it really can extend to everything in between. So here we go. So this is Cherwell. You know, everybody should recognize Cherwell on 10.0.2. And what we've done is really kind of expanded on the service catalog template stuff. And I'll show you what I mean here. So let's just start off by onboarding somebody. So we're going to go ahead and onboard Andrew Sims. That'll be new employee. Make that a priority 2. And here we go. We have Andrew Sims here already being onboarded. We have all of our different options. I'm going to set him as IT. And then we're going to call him a contractor. Give him a start date. And then I'm just going to add a bundle. That's one of the features of this. We can go ahead and add bundles to our onboarding. When I added a bundle, I have all the items that we predefined for him, which I can show you in a little bit. In this case, if it is an IT contractor, they're getting an Optiplex desktop, they're getting access to the wireless intranet, and they are getting a Microsoft Surface Pro. At this point, I'm just going to save the ticket. So what we have here so far, what I've showed you is we can add multiple items to a single service request. It's no longer just one specifics where we could have added a computer and software and a mobile device and all that down here. Instead, it's a completely separate list of additional items on top of the onboarding itself. The onboarding should be the information about the employee, whereas everything else is additional items. Okay, ignore some of these as I have the purchase request stuff in here, and those just kind of came as part of the purchase request. So after I've added that, I can go ahead and see that there was already an approval block added. And these approval blocks are separate than the approval engine Cherwell created, and there's a reason for this. We've really expanded the capability of the approvals themselves. We can see we have 2 of them because as I have set it up, each computer request has to go through its own approval. There is flexibility in this, but it just happens to be how I'm doing it for these purposes. So as we can see, we have 2 different computers. So we have 2 different approval blocks. And now we also see we have 14 different approvals. The same approvals listed twice, and I'll go through what these are, but it's the same group of approvals, just duplicated one for each different one. We also see we have 2 different tasks. Provide the wireless access. We got that task because we need the wireless internet. And set up desk is actually a task for the onboarding. When we onboard somebody, we're going to be setting up their desk. Now, at the completion of that, and I actually meant to show this in advance, but that's okay. At the completion of that, we can actually take a look, and Cherwell itself, through our processes, added Andrew Sims as an AD user. So we have it tied into Active Directory. When we onboard somebody, add them to AD, or even update their existing information in Active Directory. That's also an option. So we've got those, but I'm going to go ahead and go through our approvals here. So I'm going to approve for Sawyer's. And I'll approve Josh's on each of these. I happen to know that the approval block that I have set up for each of these is based on a couple different options, but I know that 2 different approvals will cause the overall individual item to be approved for each one and facilitate the workflow. So once I've approved those, I can already see I've gotten another task, and I should get 1 more, and there it is. So I've gotten 2 different tasks. I can also see that my approval blocks have now changed to the status of completed, whereas before they were running. So now these tasks, I have determined availability. So I'm going to just go through and work some of these. As I generate these tasks, more tasks will follow, so that we don't give our service desk people too much stuff to look at if they don't need to complete something yet. Under our tasks, we've added the ability to see the parent specifics that it came from. In this case, this task was generated because the Optiplex desktop computer was approved. So there's the information for it, and all this information can be pre-filled out. In addition, you'll notice we have task specifics. We can control now what task B, depending on what's input from task A. And this is all automated. So if I'm saying I want to go ahead and purchase this computer, because I don't have one in stock, I need to determine the availability. So I need to purchase this one. I can mark that task specifics as purchase and close this. And then I can go back to the parent ticket. And let's go take a look at our other determine availability. And this one is for the Microsoft Surface Pro. And then this one, I'm going to go ahead and say that this one I do have in stock. I want to go ahead and assign it to assign one of our devices to this person. And this is all out of the box content for the most part. So let's go ahead and do Sucre Desk. And we will close this. Now, you'll notice when I go back to the parent ticket here, I'm going to get another task here as soon as it catches up. One of the reasons I don't have I'm supposed to have two other tasks. One of the reasons I don't have another task yet is you'll notice when I said I needed to purchase that first piece of equipment, it didn't add a new task that says go out and go purchase. It actually created a purchase request itself. I can go to that and see that it has been pre-filled out, and it even added a line item for that item. And we can see item requested was the Optiplex desktop computer, and this leaves the option for whoever does the purchasing to say what they're actually going to purchase for them. So they can go here and fill this out. I don't know, we'll do an iPad. We'll just say iPad. This would normally be all pre-populated, but in the demo environment, I just don't have those at the moment. We'll say it's $50. And then we're going to submit it for review. Purchase request goes through its own approval process. I'm going to override that for a moment. Create the PO, move it to ordered. We ordered it today. And then we're going to set it to received. I'm going to stop at this moment and go back to our ticket and show you that nothing has been done yet. The ticket is still the same other than that task that I got for the in-stock one. So still nothing has been done with this PC because even though I've purchased it, I haven't received it yet. There's nothing else for me to do with this PC until I receive it. So as soon as I mark it as received, now I can go back to our parent ticket. And I have another task now to unbox the PC and put on an asset tag. I can go ahead and go to this one. Once again, I see that this is because it's the Optiplex. I don't actually have another specifics form for this. I don't need any other information. I just need to move it forward. So this one, I did not add on another specifics. We're going to complete that one. Go back to our parent request. We have yet another task because of that one. So now we have to deliver that equipment as well. 10712. So this would have been the new one that we need to deliver for our in-stock. So now that we have assigned it, I'm sorry, this is the purchase one, my apologies. So now that we have gone ahead and unboxed it, put on the asset tag and everything, we can deliver it. This is me marking off that it's been delivered to the customer. We can put in a whole bunch more information in here with a specifics form. We just don't need it for this purpose. That one is done. I will not be getting another task because delivering equipment is the final stage of that one. Now let's go back to delivering on the other computer that they're getting, which in this case is the Surface Pro. Now, because we had one of these in stock, I do need to go ahead and I'm telling it that I want them to reconfirm here what they are, which one they're sending out. There we go. So we complete that one, and that one will complete its own process. As I'm doing this, certain actions that are needed to be done will be logged here. So I can actually see in order what was done. I told you that we created that Active Directory account. There it is. We did some approval block. I'll explain these added requested items here in a minute. The set waiting to abstain occurred because when we got approval, it automatically went through and said anybody who did not already respond has abstained. Then the acquire a laptop was our purchase request task or our purchase request automation, assign the computer, so on and so forth. So we can see we have an ongoing flow of when stuff happened. And this will help in our troubleshooting and give us a very minute look at how all of this is processing. So now we're still back over here. We haven't completed our wireless access yet. So we're going to go ahead and complete that. And this is really our onboarding. After we're done with this, everybody is onboarded. Or Andrew Sims will be onboarded for that matter. Let me just go ahead and complete this. Go back to our parent request here. And then we're going to finish setting up his desk. All right, so now we have done everything we needed to onboard him. Give it a minute to make sure there was no subtasks after setting up a desk that was needed. And we can now resolve this, and it is done. And we see all of the information we have here. The adding a requested item, what that did is when he was onboarded, it created these records called a requested item or access. This will actually keep track of what everybody was given over their life cycle within Cherwell. So you can see access to the company intranet and 2 different computers. I can see what ticket requested them. Actually, sorry, this one's the ticket that requested them. And I can see when it was added, when they actually got them, and then the same for when we go to remove them. So now I'm going to open up a new ticket. And that's what that add requested items did, is it did that process for us so we can track if that ever doesn't work. Now, I'm going to go ahead and, now that he's been onboarded, at some point, he needs access, let's say, to Cherwell. Request new software. And all I have is one box to say, what does he need? He needs Cherwell. I'm going to go ahead and save that. Now that's actually, according to the workflow I have set up, that's all that needs to be done. There's no approval. You'll see we have a couple of workflow actions that happen, but there's no tasks because I have automated adding him to Cherwell. So we can see add user to Cherwell executed. And once again, I meant to show this earlier, but that's okay. You can take my word for it. We had no Andrew in here before, and I can go into here and see that he is now in here and assigned. Nope, it's taking a minute for the API call to run because that is working off of an API call. So it's just taking a minute. There he is. So I did unintentionally show you there was nobody there before, and now there is. And I can even log in right away to Cherwell with him using the credentials that I supplied. So now this one can be closed. But on the side, we also have now a requested access or item that shows he was given Cherwell software on this day and time. And on the back end, we do tie this to the same customer ID. So even though you're just seeing everything here, there is a customer rec ID in the background that ties this to Andrew. And if I go to take a look at his customer record, I have not actually put that on here. There is a relationship here that I can add that to for him. That I can add a tab to show him. Alrighty, so now let's go ahead and offboard him. His time at the company is done. Once again, on here, I see that this is Andrew Sims. I can put a departure date in 2 days, and then all I have to do is save the record. Once again, this one does not have an approval workflow on it. It is simply the offboarding. You can add the approval to it. So as you can see, we still have the same information as previous tickets. We have some workflow actions that are going to generate, and we have no approval block. Okay, let me go ahead and show you the approval blocks. Actually, what we have done with approvals here is to create our own approval blocks to really expand the abilities of what Cherwell can do with it. So in this case, we have a computer approval block, which goes on incident. We have a threshold that we say that so up to 2 people can approve it. If we get to 3 denials before we get to 2 approvals, it will deny it. We have added a denial threshold. We also have added the option to defer and to automatically resend notifications. And then on the actual block itself, we can add our individual approvers and determine whether they're a dynamic or a static. In addition, on there, as we can further see, there's approval waiting, which is a new feature we've added in. So a VIP can have a little bit more say if they need in an approval process. We can actually weigh that approval, and this enables team approvals as well as user and customer approvals. Go back to our ticket. So we can see we actually have 4 tasks on here. The reason being, he was provided 4 items. We actually created a task for each of the items he was given: access to the wireless internet, Microsoft Surface Pro, the Optiplex desktop computer, and Cherwell software. So now we have tasks that can say specifically, go remove each of the items from Andrew, recover them from him, get them back, whatever we need. As well as in the table management, we can now see we have a removal ticket, as well as the requested ticket, and when it was added and when I removed it, so we can track when somebody had their access taken away as well, and allow a little filtering. So that's really what we've done with this. Is even though I showed you onboarding and offboarding, what this does is this really blows open the service catalog template. And it takes a lot more advantage of it to where you can really define your processes very, very specifically. So what happened here is I did a new employee setup, and it went and it stepped through and did some actions based off of it. Okay. However, notice I have like 6 different actions here. Not all of these happened. We have workflows here. He got the one that I told it he was a contractor. Since he was an IT contractor, he only got this create Active Directory account for contractors, which is a different one than full-times, because maybe we put them into a different OU or security group or something. Same thing is after he got that one, we got the setup desk, because that happens for everybody. He didn't get any of these because he's a contractor, and in this case, he's IT, not HR. Now, what about the computers and everything? Well, because we added those as additional items, remember, those have their own flow. So we want to follow the same process every time somebody requests a computer. So we have a different service catalog for that, and these will actually determine, based off the items you added, which of these templates to go execute. So in this case, he got all of this. And we have these workflows that can delineate which path it needs to follow. So in one instance, after we approved it, we got this determine availability. Okay, so after it was approved, we could have a whole separate action for denied. After it was approved, we went to create this. And then since this one is based off of them checking purchase, the next one to happen would have been this. And then the following would have been this, and then this one, and then it was done. Likewise, because we chose one that was in stock, it went to this one, and then it went to this one, and then deliver equipment, and then the add requested items is the last one on there. After we got approved, that's where we told it to go ahead and set all the waiting to abstain. So this really lets you track the exact process and the exact path that a process is taking through its life cycle. And that is what I wanted to show you. If you have any questions, please reach out. But this really, like I said, this is, although I showed you onboarding and offboarding, the amount of automation that can come out of this is really, it blows the roof off of it. Because number one, I didn't do any of this. Notice this is all table driven. I set up all of these actions right here in our work units. Likewise, my approvals I did via the approval block. This is all table driven. You don't have to go in to as much blueprints and have 50 blueprints for a process. In addition, it helps you really track the exact A to B to C to D that a process is taking without having to go into automation processes and track them down, find one little step where it might have this condition versus this condition. That's a lot of time lost along with the normal development life cycle. This process we've developed really brings that time down because it can all be done via table management instead. I hope you enjoyed what you saw here. If you have any questions, please reach out.